Joseph, darling, let us talk about being burnt out for a second. What is it to be burnt out? Some of you guys may have this sensation at this point in time. And what is this sensation? It's basically a lack of energy. That's all it is. You have run out of fuel. You have run out of energy. And there are some causes for this that is having an effect on you at this point in time. Let's solve this once and for all. Understand that being burnt out is not really being burnt out. If you're burnt out completely like a candle, that means you're under the ground, 5 feet under, right? You're not burnt out. You still have energy. And that energy is located in your brain, and you can tap into it. But there are certain steps that you need to take in order for you to not have that sensation any longer. What do you first need to do? You have to tap into the 3 things that produce or prevent bad health. Okay, produces good health and prevents bad health. And that is sleep, food, and exercise. And when I'm talking about food, I'm talking about proper nutrition. That's the first 3 things you need to look at. Most often, when people are burnt out, it's because they don't have enough sleep. They work during the nighttime, or for a consistent period of time, or they are working so hard that they only get 4 hours of sleep or 5 hours of sleep a night. It's not sufficient. If you're not sleeping 8 hours every single night, then you have no reason to say that you are burnt out. Saying that you're burnt out if you're sleeping less than 8 hours is almost like preposterous. Like you're literally making fun of people who are actually really struggling. Okay, because you just have to test that out first. Check if you are getting enough sleep. And if you are getting enough sleep, then you need to tap into food. What are you eating? Are you eating crap? Are you eating sugar? Are you eating a lot of stuff that would eventually cause your body to shut down? Once you begin to sleep properly, once you begin to eat properly, and exercise is fantastic. On this page, we don't talk a lot about exercise because everyone else in the masculinity space are like massively pushing it. Like I'm just trying to create some balance in the masculinity space, promoting work ethic, okay? So when we talk about exercise, but if you're burnt out, then maybe you should do some exercise. Maybe you should some things that get your heart rate up. Or maybe you need to do some push-ups every single day. Whatever it is, man. Like right now, I have this thing of adding 1 more push-up to my routine every single day. Every other day sometimes when I need a rest day, etc. But I've gone from 20 push-ups to now 50 push-ups. And I'm very satisfied with that. Doing 50 push-ups straight after each other is pretty intense. And that's where I'm at this point in time. And I'll keep pushing. We'll see. Maybe I'll get to 100 by the end of this year. Well, you guys will have to keep me updated and reminded me on that one to keep you guys updated. Alright, so having spoken about those 3 simple things, let's move on to the other mental things, because it's usually just beliefs that you have about your current circumstance that is causing you to be burnt out. Number 1 that I would mention is that you do not have a vision for where you're going. You don't know where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, then very quickly when things become difficult, which they usually do, then you're going to, guess what? Begin to shut down. You're going to tell yourself stuff like, oh, what's the point? Oh, I suck at this. Oh, this is never going to work anyway. And this is when you begin to get that burnt out sensation, is that you have no vision for what you're doing. Why are you doing what you're doing for? You need to know your why. You need to know the reason for why you're doing things. Create a vision for yourself. I was talking to one client today, and we were talking about what's your long-term picture. He knew exactly what he needed to do on a short-term basis, but when it came to the long-term, he was a bit unsure. Like, what am I actually moving towards? There's no point in doing the short-term if you don't know what the long-term game is, right? So we clarified that, and suddenly it became way more easier and created a lot more urgency to do the short-term things that will lead up to the long-term things. Do you know what your long-term things are? I can tell you right now, for the vast majority of us men, these are the long-term things. You want a family? Yes. Okay. Then you know that there is a long-term game. You have a vision of where you're going. If you're single right now and you're burnt out, you're not thinking about your future family. Right? You're not thinking about your kids. You don't have any kids. It doesn't matter, bro. Aren't you going to have kids in the future? Think about them. You can't be burnt out. Like, in the future, when you do have kids, then you might be burnt out because you can't sleep properly, right? And they are on your case all of the time, and there's always issues and problems, etc. But if you're single, which is a large majority of the people that I'm talking to, then you can't be burnt out as a single guy. You get what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't work in terms of, but you would be if you are feminine, right? The more we're going against nature, the more we remain in our feminine state of not working, not exercising, not doing the things that we're supposed to be doing, the more we're going to begin to feel that sensation of burnt out, right? So you got to have a vision. You got to know where you're going. You want a family? Yes. Do you want to get rich? Yes. Okay. Why do you want to get rich? Get that clear in your mind in order for us to do good, in order for us to have as much power as possible to do even more good. That's why you're doing this stuff. And if you have that anchor, you'll never ever get burnt out. Number 2, you don't have momentum. Do you know of any person on planet Earth who has momentum in their business or in their lives of what they're doing who are burnt out? No, it doesn't exist. Why? Because momentum feeds you with energy. It's like all these positive things are happening in your life where you're just like, you're getting blasted with fuel of energy all of the time. You need to develop personal momentum. Very difficult to do if you feel burnt out. But like I said, you're not burnt out. It's just that you are not focusing on the right things, or you're not taking care of your body properly. So how do you create more momentum? Well, this is also part of the vision aspect of knowing what you are moving towards. You have a job right now. Maybe you have 2 jobs. Maybe you have 3 jobs, and you think that you're getting burnt out. No. You need to have an exit strategy. You need to know the deadline for when you're going to exit those 3 jobs, right? And it needs to be within the next 12 to 24 months. That's approximately how much it takes, especially if you have a mentor or a coach. Hit me up on Instagram, @Men of High Value. But if you're by yourself, it should take you maximum 3 years to figure it out, right? Or to save up money to hire a coach or get the assistance that you need to develop an exit strategy that replaces the incomes that you have from your jobs with online income. Okay? The more third world country you live in, maybe some of you guys are in third world countries, the more powerful online income is for you. You just need to learn as perfect English as you can possibly get to, and that is going to fuel you to create. But that's a topic for another day. But you guys in third world countries, you are so blessed for having the internet. So blessed. It's insane. Compared to 30, 40 years ago when Indians or any other person in a third world country would have to struggle with the current circumstance that they were in, and there was no real exit strategy. Man, we're so blessed today. Are you tapping into that? And if you're not, why not? See, you can't be burnt out when you know of all the opportunities that are out there. It's insane. Okay, and the last one that I would say is your relationships probably suck. That's why you're feeling burnt out. You have an environment of people that are weighing you down. Okay, if you don't have a lot of mental muscle, let's say you're mentally weak, and this is where all of us are mostly starting out, right? Then it's going to be difficult for you to shut out the negative stinking thinking that people in your life have, and they are basically brainwashing you, but they're not brainwashing, they're literally brain dirtying you, okay? And making it extremely difficult for you to have a positive, fired up attitude. You're probably burnt out from other people causing you to think negative, stinking thinking. Who are the people around you? Are you part of a positive group of people who are going in the same direction towards riches? If you don't have that and you live in a first world country, you need to be part of men of high value. We talk every single day. Do you know how valuable that is? It's insane. Are you tapping into that? If you've got the financials, but you're still feeling burnt out or depressed or struggling, you need to be part of a positive group of people. None of my clients who actually listen to what I tell them, actually listen to the formula, the process that I teach them, are depressed. None of them are depressed. None of them have a burnt out mentality. Okay, and if they do, they're not applying the principles, or they're just simply not listening to my videos, right? So make that a habit. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe and like, and I'll see you guys in the next one.